Alright, so in The Lost Treasure of Griffonstone, we finally pick up on that thing that seemed pretty important 6 episodes ago.
Oh my gosh, my cutie mark! You know what this means? The map!
The map is summoning you to Griffonstone, the very heart of the Griffin Kingdom.
Come on, Dashy! We're going to Griffonstone! Fine. That's the spirit!
You know, I don't think we've had enough transitions in the last 30 seconds. So as you may know, this episode features Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie traveling to the Griffin Kingdom to restore it to its former glory.
I don't know if either of you have read Bygone Griffins of Greatness, but Griffins were known to be...
Rude, insensitive bullies?
You mean Gilda?
Yeah, I mean Gilda.
Gee, I wonder who else is going to be in this episode.
Maybe we should just find the palace so we can ask the king what's going on.
We don't have a king. Losers. Hello, Gilda. Dash.
Now honestly, I'm not so sure I want to hear a story about Gilda's redemption. The message from her first appearance on how not every friend is a lifelong one, and sometimes it's better to just draw the line and part ways, is an important one, and it was very well done there. But I guess enough time has passed to let the point sink in by now. And plus, they got Amy Keating Rogers to write it, one of the longest running and most consistent writers for this show, and the only one to write an episode with series creator herself, Lauren Faust. So, okay, can she successfully show us another side to Gilda?
Well... What? You like it? That's my Grandpa Gruff's secret recipe.
Ow! I think I broke a tooth!
Well, whatever. I don't even care anyway.
Well played. Very well played. With a little subtlety here, this scene manages to feel very natural and unforced, while still showing us that Gilda would appreciate a little positivity thrown her way. She knows better than to honestly expect it, but even that was going out on more of a limb than any of her fellow Griffins. There's a saying that it's hurt people who hurt people. As much as the gruff, dismissive types might want you to think that they're just too ahead of the curve to be some kind of kiss-ass, the fact of the matter is that lashing out, even in small, subtly hurtful ways, is a coping mechanism. By design, the purpose is to feel more secure about something you're uncertain of and threatened by. And in the same vein, anyone who's not a sociopath does feel good when they experience positivity, and hurt from a lack thereof. They just might not want to trust it, because having it yanked away by surprise can hurt even more. Case in point...
We don't have friends here. I did have a friend once, but you saw how that turned out.
This casts Gilda's actions back in Griffin the Brush-Off in a new light. Before she came across as very cocky and self-promoting, like she thought she ran with an elite crowd who had the right to beat down on anyone that didn't meet the standard. But that can't be the case now that we know Rainbow Dash was her only friend, and what's more, she spent her whole life in a place where she was treated the exact same way. So actually, Rainbow Dash would have been her only break from that.
Only for you, Dash.
So in that light, her hostility towards Pinkie Pie at the time could be seen as protective jealousy, much like Discord was Fluttershy exactly 1 episode ago. In fact, that kind of makes it seem like a shame that she lost Rainbow for over a year now. Discord certainly gave her a run for her money, yet managed to patch things up the very same day.
She's not only a meanie meatpants, she's also a thief! Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to...
I'm sorry!
Okay, yeah, she was still a jerk. And the difference is that Discord was able to admit it when he realized he was wrong. But still, Gilda didn't threaten to send anyone to another dimension. I mean, she paid a much steeper price, all because she was more insecure about losing face.
Doesn't that Griffin know that she's supposed to fly at the Junior Speedsters flight camp?
Maybe she just doesn't want to make you look bad. Hey there, I'm Rainbow Dash. And you are... Gilda?
Okay, so Gilda is redeemable. But how well does the episode deliver? Well, as you'd expect from an episode pairing Pinkie Pie with Rainbow Dash, it's very funny, especially Pinkie Pie's self-aware rendition of the moral after they teach Gilda to bond with her fellow Griffins over something like good-tasting scones.
Whoa, Pinkie! I guess that really was the problem we needed to solve.
Baking powder makes baked goods and friendships fluffy and delicious.
last episode, here the plot is not secondary to the comedy. It's very much Gilda's story, and they do a great job subtly exploring her across the runtime, including how you can just catch her warming up to Pinkie Pie.
Oh my gosh! I gotta go find Rainbow Dash!
See ya.
And to Roger's credit, especially since she wasn't the one who wrote her first appearance, Gilda still feels like the same character. Plus, her transition never forgets to stay grounded in how someone who's embittered and cynical would think, giving it the three-dimensional feel that the earlier seasons made their name on.
Grandpa Gruff's recipe is good, but it's missing one important ingredient.
Don't tell me. Friendship?
No. Baking powder.
Yeah, like that for example. Friendship is not, contrary to what Yu-Gi-Oh! Would tell you, some vague god you worship who in return makes your pastries taste good. Just like it's not... something that allows you to recover your quote-unquote true talent with no discernible effort when literally nothing else works, or something that allows you to totally see the error of your ways with literally just the realization of its absence. This was the kind of thing that Season 3 and early parts of Season 4 seemed to forget. Which, coincidentally, was exactly the period for which Amy Keating Rogers stepped out before returning with 3 great episodes in a row. In the end, there's really not much that's technically wrong with this episode, other than maybe the last 2 minutes where Gilda is arguably just a bit too eager to turn sweet, like there wasn't enough time left to let the transition play out perfectly.
You're more important to me than some dumb chunk of gold.
But that's not why I'd hesitate to say it's a great episode. Honestly, I think what it comes down to here is the raw emotional impact, because no matter how well you craft a story, the emotions you get out of it are still proportional to what you put in. And this episode does kind of end up feeling like the setup for the best part yet to come. We still don't get to see Rainbow and Gilda really bond again in the big climax or in the conclusion, nor do we get to see the town really start to change. Pinkie shows Gilda a good place to start, but if she's going to be doing this again all on her own from square one, she's got a whole other story arc ahead of her. And on top of that, there's really not much indication we'll get to see that story arc in the near future, if we get to see it at all.
See you later, you old charmer. Pinkie?
Who are you talking to?
No, Pony!
But it's hard to complain about an episode that's still very good just because it won't be on everyone's top 10 list. It is a very welcome depiction of all of the characters involved, and a nice reassurance that the show is far from losing its core qualities. Plus, unlike Appaloosa's Most Wanted, it's a worthy follow-up to its predecessor, which was also a very good episode.
When you decide not to be lame anymore, give me a call.
The fanbase, as I understand it, usually sees M.A. Larson, who's been around about as long, as the big event writer. And he often is. But looking through their episodes, I'd have to say that I'm just as fond of Rogers. Some people might give her the trophy just for Pinkie's pride, but even just among her Pinkie Pie episodes, I honestly liked Mystery on the Friendship Express just as much. She has been a very sincere and very intelligent writer, and what inconsistencies she has shown might annoy me more, but they honestly make me much less nervous than Larson's, whose return to the franchise in Cutie Map that was touted by some as an ascension was really more just a redemption, in my opinion. And there's little denying that her season finale thoroughly hands his its ass. Although, one thing they both have in common is that neither has helped the show with how hilariously bad it is at dodging pro-prejudice accusations.
In ancient times, griffins were known to be as greedy as dragons.
But, as some of you might have guessed, the reason I'm lingering on Amy Keating Rogers is to emphasize just how much we might end up missing her when she's gone. Because, as is well known by this point, she's decided to step away again after this season and accept a full-time position elsewhere. And, gosh, I know I've only been around for about a year now, but maybe I should do something to show my thanks for the job well done, like some kind of tribute where I sing and act all dramatic-like and generally take myself too seriously. Wait a minute, she's going to write for Disney? Okay, you know what? Fine. But if they don't become a better network the second she walks through the door, I will be very disappointed. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, well, best not send it to a griffin. And if you'd like to watch another video in this series, click here. Otherwise, just check the description for more links, and I'll see you next time.